Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're going to be watching episodes 9 and 10 of Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei Season 1. Back here again in the chair to watch the Despair Teacher and his class of freaks. Call a spade there, I guess. But yeah, we're back. Getting towards the pointy end of Season 1, which it'll be interesting to see if maybe we set up something a little bit bigger for a finale? Maybe, we'll see. But I'm not holding my breath. But I am holding my breath for the YouTube comments. There they are. I've got two here today, both from Sal, with one a little bit longer than the other, with a few points to bounce off of. Very, very cool. Starting here with the first, 100% with you on loving the ED. The song is a jammer, visuals and lyrics striking as well. Scary cool. Yeah, I'm with you. Anything that gets me dancing, I don't dance. So, like, anything that gets me, like, moving and grooving, must be pretty good. It's good in the kind of music department, in the melody and whatnot. I like that. And yeah, the visuals are unquestioned. It's Shaft. This is what they do. They make good visuals to go along with things. I think if you're gonna break down like some of the best like openings and endings of all time, you'd attribute at least a good portion of them to Shaft. I don't know. You'd need to sit down and actually do it, but yeah. Very, very, very good. Ooh, interesting. Okay, we're going to be diving deep on the fan service a little bit. I've seen this argument made for other shows in the past, and it's an interesting one to talk about because I'm almost there with you, right? Because yes, for all intents and purposes, I don't think that the ecchi in this show in particular, in the framing department, all the time, is meant to titillate, right? That's not what they're trying to do with the presence of that kind of stuff in the show. It's meant to say something larger about genre, about tropes, about, society, lenses and whatnot. It's trying to be a bit smarter about it, is my point. Now, long-time viewers on the channel will remember similar arguments going back and forth about the Monogatari series, right? Where, it's got a lot of fan service, quite a fair bit, especially early on. Dies off a little bit later on, but I digress. Point being, the argument there is we were trying to say something about, like, again, genre and Araragi as a character and, like, his perspective on things. Like, the argument there is that you would lose some element of the story without the fan service there. And you guys know me, I'm not one to poo-poo anybody for their particular interpretations of anything, right? But sometimes I think we also just need to call a spade a spade. They definitely drew that girl naked on purpose a lot. They were trying to... Not every single time they do it, they're trying to, say something. It's not all a grand... Sometimes they just want to see someone naked. I don't know. I think... On the other hand, I hate that argument. I think, again, death of the author, it's up to the audience's interpretation to figure out what they wanted to do with that kind of stuff. Either way, I should focus back on the actual comment because there's some pretty good points in here as well. The one I'm half reading at the moment is specifically the bend of the show, especially in the opening, towards sadomasochism or BDSM, whatever you wanted to say there. Kind of maybe trying to say something larger about dark or uncomfortable subjects in society as a whole through its use. The idea of self-awareness in the act, the idea of restraint or the lack thereof it. So yeah, I kind of see what you're saying. Like the alternate argument there would be, hey, if we just wanted to put tits on screen to put tits on screen, we wouldn't do it through this BDSM lens all the time, and potentially it'd be a little bit more, stereotypical anime fan service, just kind of big titties flying everywhere or something. The argument here being made that it kind of mirrors the power dynamics as well. There's a push and pull to the kind of ideas going on there. Itoshiki very much stepping away from that kind of stuff, but again, on some level also wants to partake, especially with Chie, and then Chie and Komori. Why is that okay and not the other stuff okay? And society... Yeah, you can make that interpretation, I think. There is enough there to do so. But also, I think they just wanted Chia to get naked as well. Do you see what I mean? I'm not with you, right? But I'm a little bit more cynical. I just am. And yeah, that's not even accounting for Kaire, who is just panty shot galore. And they're doing fun genre stuff. They're making it aware that she is the panty shot character. So when she shows up, there are panty shots. And we lampshade that, and it's all very funny. But yeah, overall, A for effort. I'll say A for effort. I'm just. I've done this rodeo before. Again, as I kind of led into this argument, we had similar stuff with Bakemonogatari. Or any of the Monogatari's, really. Where, again, I landed on it where it's like, yeah, you can say all this stuff about Araragi, but also I think that they just kind of wanted to, you know, have Kambaru naked on screen. Like, it's just kind of the show it is, you know? At least this show doesn't have as much incest. Touch wood, I guess. Which was a whole other can of worms. Anyway, we'll leave it, and we'll dive out of the YouTube comments here today, and we'll pop over to the Patreon to give them a shout out. Let's do that. So, as always, I have a Patreon. If you'd like to support the Patreon, I would appreciate that. You get episodes 1 week early, double votes in polls, a few polls on the channel coming up, actually. G-Witch replacement poll, it should have went public, or is going to go public pretty quickly. It's one of the two. So yeah, if you want to double votes in that kind of poll, I don't know what's on it yet, but it's probably pretty cool. Yeah, you could do that. It's linked in the description below. Many people have done this, up to and including Mickey Babbers, AJ, Bananarama Hamadama-sama, Bisa, Bobbin, Capella, Choberibi, Copley, Sinarin, Dapper Dwarf, Darky26, Domobot, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Fleur Nightingale, Fruit, Fusel, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glyke, Greybeard, Gus N, Hans Peter, Ika, Yanko Yavanen, Jacob R, Jami Boo, Joran, Kasogtha, Kelvin, Clem, Nosta, Cot Begemot, Lick H, Lou, Mistake L Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. Maniacs, Nico Lane, Parnek, Pencil Sharp 333, Ragashingo, Ron Led B&K, Saint Lily, Sal, Sam1373, Skeleton, Waifu Overdose, Without a Net, Yuki Ali, Zach, Shinchio Iyoshi, Akumancer, Binshi, Voodoo Chili, Bin Flu, and the Lazy Panda Man. Thank you to everybody for giving me money. I enjoy the money. The show's the show. You should set things up. I don't know, maybe something different will happen and we'll continue on and it'll become like a plot thing, but probably not. It's just going to be some antics, some jolly fun. But keeping an eye, maybe we're setting up something larger for the end of the season. Fingers crossed, we'll see. Either way, episode 9 of Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei coming right up. Radio, I have episode 9 of Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei up there ready to go. 23 minutes and 42 seconds on this one, so sit up accordingly with your own copy. I have the celery set. It's called celery. So if you want the celery set, you can get that one because it's the one that I have. If not, there's a picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Previously on. Okay. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember enjoying that quite a bit. Everybody did. Everybody liked that. Keep going. No, that was unless we're continuing on from that concept, that was a bit of a weird section because that was just the end of last episode. So, don't know. I like the part where they go bure, 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 bure. I think that's pretty good. Oh, look at their faces in the background. That was pretty clever. I do like how happy a lot of the girls are. I think that's pretty fun. Do you know what I mean? Like, they've just got very happy faces. Like, that one section where all the faces come, like, across. Yeah. Maybe something about youth. The young are happy, the not so young are not. Waffle. Very cool. Yes. Nami. Oh, very well spotted. No, you gotta spot the difference. Why? Well, in this class full of freaks, being normal's pretty good, right? That sound effect. Jesus. Mm-hmm. Spot the mistakes of my life? It's not hard. What am I looking at? Huh. The game of life? Okay, man. uh, Something got Eva? What about Shaft? That was a mistake within itself. Yeah, of course. Might is a mistake. No, I take that back. I'm sorry. 10? I can. Who said that? Yeah, I don't think that's what that means either. Well, becoming a teacher. Okay, starting from the very beginning. To those parents. Oh, is that a... Did that happen? That's kind of funny. Took long distance karate lessons is pretty good too. Some COVID type shit. I'm the original. Why? Not at all. It's also Japanese, so... Oh. Well, that doesn't count. Oh, buddy. He's scaring the children. She's just sleeping. These are weird cutaways to her. I guess we're building contrast between her and Itoshiki. It's a hair there or something. Ah. Well, that's not... But it's not our fault. We didn't... It's not a mistake. Is that a pun? Seemed like a pun. Hey, era... Yeah. I don't need to think very hard. That's not a tail. What? Was he fucking jerking off? What was that? Correct. Thank you, Despair Teacher. Ugh. I like her. Mari's got a lot of, she's very likable. I'm channeling the girls right now. I'm like, I want to protect her. Yeah, boo. I got a lot of time for people that are all smiles. You got fucking trolled? Objection? Thank you, Fura. Is she insane? Topical. This is very religious, almost. Like, repent for your sins and you shall be forgiven. I guess that follows. Yeah. Hey, yo. Okay. He's off to prison, or worse. I guess. I mean, it cements your status as, like, the opposite of... what? Excuse me? The fuck was that? What? What are we doing? I don't believe you, show. Okay, that was pretty good. That was actually... That's sick, yo. Explain. I didn't think so. I didn't. Yeah, that's a big age gap. No. Yeah, I don't think you can sue a kid. Uh yeah, but why did you? I guess. Yeah, it's kind of my thing. Oh, a bit of trifle sounds good. Yum. I don't know the fucking minute. Well, kids age very quickly too. Oh, what? We're doing this again? There's an imposter among us? I mean, yeah, good point. Mari is just an imposter. Yeah? But that's suspicious. ID? I'm not an imposter, man. What are you talking about? Sue, you're here? Yeah. Where's his hair? Or his bald head? Uh. Okay. Well, you don't see a lot of Japanese people with curly hair. Oh, yeah. It's got a bit of a wave going on. Embrace the wave. Ooh, bit of a role reversal. That was cute. I kind of like those two. I don't know. The original Odd Couple. Yeah. How do you prove that you're normal? What? Blow up the oil fields? Based, I think. But that's me. I think she's the kind of person that would fail a capture. I think that's kind of her vibe. No. We already established that I'm not. What is these Tony Hawk sound effects? She passed the test, though. I've never made a phone call. That's not a secret. Yeah, Una reverse. Fuck you. What if he actually was fake the entire time? It's a cool shot. It's a really interesting question. How would I prove that it's me? Maybe you're watching an imposter right now. Guess I'm gonna kill myself. Bye. I think we're just trying to get our way. It's a good picture. Thanks for the art. Dude, we mind flooded the teacher. He's done. We used to do this to substitute teachers all the time. Maybe I'm actually in every other different anime? There's many references there, chat. Ooh. What's in the back? Why? We're just chilling. They're just, like, good friends. I can imagine. What's a hair fetish? Is that a thing? I wouldn't let anybody touch my hair. Oh, immediately out of whack. Okay, well I didn't expect that. Where are you, man? What's going on? Is that the end of the... Really? That went very quick. That last scene there's some interesting tidbits about the family. It seems like he doesn't like his parents very much, which I'm You probably could have intuited that, if I'm going to be honest. Interesting episode. I think, yeah, again, we're falling into that structure a little bit where it's just kind of like, here's Itoshiki Sensei saying XYZ, and then examples of XYZ. I would like to read my little notes. I think there's a couple puns that are really propelling those two segments this episode. I guess we got a side character introduction. Kind of his nephew, I believe is the vibe. His brother's child. Yeah, what are we trying to say with all those, like, cutaway scenes with Komori and Chie? That was something, alright. But yeah, I mean, there was good gear. I like Maria. I thought Maria was quite good this episode. Fura doing Fura things, which is just great. She's just the opposite of Itoshiki, which is fantastic. Chiri's still my favorite, by the way, if we're counting. Did she just down a big beer? What the hell? Okay, man, whatever you say. Radio onwards and upwards with episode 10. Radio, I have episode 10 up there ready to go. 21 minutes and 54 seconds. A shorter episode here, which is odd. Still think I've got an ending and stuff. Weird. Okay, shorter one. Yeah, picture-in-picture, celery subset, same old stuff. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, that's fantastic. Yeah, why wasn't that there the first time we did this gag? That's exactly how I would have done it myself. Previously on. Okay, we're still all going through it, I guess. I think I recognize one of the characters in there. One or two of them. We really love this bit, apparently. Octoballs. Fried soba. Meido Cafe. Frog Magician. Fresh juice. Diplomatic normalization? Oh, school festival. Of course. Maid Cafe would be fun. Place? Cultural festival, but spelt incorrectly. What's the display? What is this opening? For a different show. The song's great, though. I'd love to see what we're making fun of here. Probably some kind of, high school slice of life thing. Something where you would do a school festival of some kind. It's very clever. I actually like this quite a bit. The color work's fantastic too, obviously, as well. Very cool. A cultured man. Is this the display? Oh, okay, now this is a flashback. What did he draw? He drew the flat Earth? I'm literally 16. What do you want me to do? Oh, I was gonna say that seems like something pretty official. You are constitutionally required to do so. Name a nation that isn't heavily in debt. Oh, okay. A mock trial. Mm-hmm. If I was in a blanket like that all the time, I wouldn't wear clothes. Fuck that shit. What do you mean? I think you're getting a little bit caught up with it all. Oh yeah, I'm very familiar. Okay, well, back to the drawing board then. Banned? Based? Oh yeah, we've seen this previously. I liked this when I saw it. You know those foreigners and their fucking rock and roll, damn it. Give an anime girl a guitar, I'm like neuron activation, like I go crazy. G. Storyteller? Oh. Yes. But. However. And that's a soul. Yeah, there you go. I liked that story. Thank you very much. I liked it quite a bit. I like how we just omitted a huge chunk of it, because it's like, yeah, you get it. Oh, okay. Comedy. Yeah, go to Chiri for the comedy. She'll sort you out. Got me already. Oh, red. Okay, that's funny. How am I supposed to compete with that? We're definitely getting a lot of frickin' G. Yeah. Sinetsky's having a look. Alright, seems like we're not doing fucking anything. And we've also wasted all our prep time. Indeed. What? Don't get me started on the Knights. That was a whole other series. Why? How does rock fishing? What was that? Okay, something about weebs? This guy's very flexible. Chopper? Is that a thing? I hope not. Yeah, he talks a big game, doesn't he? Are you even a science teacher? What are you doing? Oh, so that was it? Oh, really? Just over? That's so funny. I liked it. That's a cursed image. I liked this guy. I liked his little story. I do like the soundtrack. Just put a bunch of bullshit over the top of it. This is me when I'm like at my most annoying at home. Just like saying bullshit. It's still going too. Yeah. I think the VA's kind of getting sick of it too. Oh, field trip. You know we love Kyoto. Oh. Where are we? What? What else are we meant to do on a trip? What's a field trip preview? So how does the preview work? But No, you've... Ah, buddy. Yeah, why are you bringing the kids? Very good. What are the what? Shady dealings. Alright, I mean, we blackmailed this guy into getting us a trip. Yeah, but what am I supposed to do then? She just gets more and more beat up all the time, too. Deito? Ugh. Not really, yeah. What are you implying? I mean, they do. We're off to preview our next destination. Well, we're only doing an itinerary to preview. Holy shit. Huh? 2-minute blocks? Is it? Whatever you say. The Adult Museum? Bro, I'm trying to eat. Show some respect. Do I just get a preview of the character designs there, or...? I'm not. Stop fucking trying to catch me. Yeah, that's the question I was going to ask, too. Oh, good old etchy sight. It frightens me. Also, are you meant to be like a monk or something? Priest? Priest is probably more apt. That's not... That's just called being a stalker. Yeah. Look at this little freak. Yeah. Okay. No, I mean, that's the point of the... The point of the skit is to be disappointed. Yours. Oh, yeah, mine. I'm really not. Oh, we're just going to preview the property. Okay, that one got me. That was quite good. Oh, again? Sure. Shoutouts to Australia. Great southern land. We're here. You just beat him with a gravestone? Holy. Well, you beat the shit out of him. A coma's just a preview of death, yeah. What is this dream? Yeah, isn't that generally how it works? Well, you always wanted to die. Stacking up stones or something. Oh, it looks like Abiru a little bit. Wow. That in itself is a preview as well. Does it? Bro, I'd be eating raw dough all the time. Pause. Shit's fucking weird. It's good though. It's just fucking weird. As always, we'll pop back through with the my cheat sheet. Going back through there. I don't know. I don't know what to make of any of that. Funny. It was funny jokes. Any explanation for why the episode was shorter? Just felt like it. I don't know. Losing a good 2 minutes here, folks. Come on now. Just generally episodes, again, because I read out the length of an episode all the time on the channel. Generally, they stay about the same, mostly because they're broadcast on TV, right? So you'd need a very similar, length of time for that slot. We just didn't care? Sure. What are you two doing? They're doing their own little look back there or something. Oh yeah, sure. And yeah, as always, we'll return tomorrow with a little bit more analysis on those 2 episodes. And we're back. It's the next day. 2 more episodes of Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei in the books. I've read the liner notes. I'm getting a little bit reference brain rotted with it all. Like the rapid fire ones in particular, after reading the extensive liner notes, they're just putting nonsense in it, and I don't really know if I like it. I don't know, man. I guess it's a had to be there thing for a lot of them. You'll read the liner notes, right? And it's like, this is a specific reference to a news article that came out that very week. And I'm like, is that good for making something that's going to hold up to the test of time? I'm sure it was funny in the moment. A couple of other ones, right, where it's like, this is referencing the show that came out or was airing directly after this time slot, right? Where again, so much of it is had to be there to a point of detraction. I don't know. Like, I guess the jokes are a mile a minute to the point where it doesn't really matter, and the hit rate's pretty good too on said jokes. So if you're hitting a lot and most of the jokes are hitting, then I guess it's fine. But I don't know, I guess that's just like extra little bits of information that you're not meant to get for the joke proper. Just a lot with this show, it feels like I'm missing out, and I don't like that feeling. And I think working to the point where I'm not going to be missing out is literally taking in a whole other set of cultural influences, right? Like, I grew up once already. I've got a bunch of stuff around me that I know about because I've lived it. I haven't lived this, and that makes it difficult. Either way, I've come in very negative. On 2 episodes I was pretty positive about overall. They're funny. They get the thing done. It's getting a little bit long in the tooth structurally, I'll say. Just, it seems like it's always, we're going to bring up an idea, Itoshiki Sensei's going to counter it, hijinks ensue. I was waiting for maybe something to mix it up a little bit more in these 2 episodes, but no. I guess the large-scale takeaway from today is that it was more Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei rather than anything all too noteworthy. But either way, we'll dive back through. There was a couple of fun references that I will attempt to elucidate, but we'll see how we go. First things first, big old question mark on this. Why do we repeat this bit twice? And when I say twice, I actually mean 3 times, because there's the initial run, there's this one in the start of this episode, and we do the same bit in the start of the next episode. I have to ask why. Did they... I will say, this one wasn't particularly funny. The next one was funny because of how ridiculous it was that we were doing the same bit again. What's the joke, I guess? What's the... I don't know. Weird one. I mean, as somebody that already hates repetition in these kind of shows, don't repeat jokes, man. You can't be doing that. Either way, now on to new content, and we have a Spot the Difference. I'm guessing you guys are pretty familiar with these as well. It's not exactly a foreign concept. Just looking here, look. There's one there. There's one there. There's probably one on the artist himself somewhere. Let's not do a Spot the Difference in current year, considering I'm not 5. But that's the setup. We've got to spot the difference, I guess. And yeah, this is what I mean structurally. We go from there, oh, you're doing a spot the difference. Well, how about you spot the mistakes you've made in life? And then he does his shtick. That's kind of the structure of the show. And I mean, yeah, it's fine, but can't we elevate a little bit? There's more that we could do with these characters, is my point. We don't always just need to be so dialogue driven. I think, again, moving them on a field trip or a cultural festival, those are things that elevate a little bit more than a spot the difference. So yes, we very quickly go from spot the difference to spot the mistakes. Now let's just list mistakes in life for a bit, I guess. So, 2 things. I'm being told that this is a reference to the ending of The Soul Taker, which is an anime from 2001. Apparently, a boy's mother stabs him in the heart, but then he comes back and becomes a monster or something, so I guess you could squint and call that a mistake. I just think it buoys the scene nicely visually, so shoutouts to that. Over here, we're making a Betamax reference. To my knowledge, that isn't beta in the Greek alphabet, so it's kind of funny too. So then Itoshiki prompts people to, name 7 mistakes that they made in life. I believe that this would be Kumeta, I think, from the framing. His mistakes are joining an anime club. Well, yeah. Going to an all-boys school. I mean, you didn't really make the choice there, buddy. Getting hooked on Eva while failing to get into college... I can't relate to that at all. I got into college, but I didn't really. Anyway, entering the industry. Okay, so I shouldn't have gone into job based. Going to Comic fair. Company going out of business. I don't know what that's about. And working on Zetsubou Sensei anime. What you're watching right now is a mistake, by the way, children. Very, very cool. Now that's pretty funny. Love a good 4th wall break, of course. And just while we're in the reference corner as well, you may see Shaft up here. Very, very cool. So here we're talking about mistakes in general. And up here we have here, Mari, and E something. This is a reference to EF. I don't know what that is, or F. It's a Shaft anime. But over here we're definitely referencing Hidamari's sketch in the same breath as talking about mistakes. So hardy hardy ha Shaft can break the fourth wall as well, and potentially what's the word, take shots at some of their own stuff. I don't know, it may be coming across as very negative, it may just be the mood I'm in, but I don't see much to talk about in this segment at all. It's very self-explanatory. We're doing a lot of classroom shots again, which is something that I've talked about in the past that is just kind of a thing that the show does. I'm not particularly passionate about it, especially, again, it's more an excuse to have a blackboard on screen so he can write nonsense. And Atoshiki spiraling about his whole life being a mistake. The one thing I did note in the reaction is he does talk about being born to such lousy parents, so could be drama there with the parents. We're definitely introducing more and more of his family as we go on. As we see by the very end of this episode, we have another character in that family introduced. But point being, this particular segment isn't inspiring to me. I think I enjoyed, again, a little bit more of the stuff where we move a lot more. And then, I don't know if it's a translation thing, but this joke here where he pulls down the poster and then, like, talks about the certain mistake that's on. I don't know if it's just not translating well or what. It's just like not funny. It just completely falls flat for me. Like the framing made it seem like there would be a mistake in general, just like, you know, against reality or something. But no, it was a little bit more of a personal thing for him. This whole class was a mistake in my life, so technically it's a mistake. That must be a mistranslation. I must be missing something there. Because everyone's just groaning, and I'm like, I'm with you. He's very depressed, I guess. Oh, so what are these weird, like, lecturer shots of Chie just in the middle of everything? I made the argument in the reaction that maybe it's a point of contrast to Atoshiki, who is, again, as I said before, spiraling, but it's not much beyond that. Like, I mean, she's very relaxed. He's very tense about the mistakes that he's made. We're building a contrast, the dichotomy and the opinions there within. We do a very similar thing with Fura here in a second, where she declares that there are no such thing as mistakes. Again, you could squint and say that there's some amount of philosophy there. Who is ultimately happier? Who is living a better life? One that constantly scrutinizes oneself, or somebody that just, you know, lives and just, you know, goes with the flow. But it's just a weird way to do it. Very weird. Feels very, what's the word? Voyeuristic. It's odd. However, I did think this was a clever one. I read this in the liner notes. When we do this battle of mistakes cutaway with Abiru, right? The eye patch is on the wrong side. So normally it would be on her left, but it's on her right. That's clever for sure. I wonder if there's a little bit more spot the difference stuff in the kind of production overall. This is the one that they highlighted, but like, it'd be fun to do a spot the difference segment and then mix up people's character designs, like, I don't know, give Maria blonde hair or something, just like for like half a frame or something, or like 2 frames. That could be something. That could be a fun fourth wall break, I think. Again, we're doing the thing over here. I do think that the battle between landlord and tenant is a pretty funny one to think about. Yeah, but we're classifying this as a battle of mistakes. I'm shouting this out because we've got 2 football references, or soccer, depending on your persuasion. We have Fiorentina and I believe it's Nakata from the notes I was reading, but I think this is an Italian football team and this player, there was a bit of a dispute there, but this is the one I'm thinking about, right? Essentially, this one's about passing into somebody's, like a through ball pass, like putting a bit of, you know, putting it into space rather than putting it into somebody's feet. So again, if you're a bit more of a defensively minded player, straight to the feet is fine, especially if you're like a, you know, pivoting central midfielder or something like that, but for a winger, you're going to want it in space because we're trying to attack. We're trying to put the ball into dangerous positions. So, I don't know. I liked it. It was one of the few things that I got on screen, so sure. And in tried and true Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei formula fashion, we have, again, we're just going to apply the concept of each of these individual characters and their archetype making a mistake. So Meru, who has a thing about phones, is like, oh, I signed up for the wrong plan. I moved somewhere with bad reception. These are things that are associated with my character that could also be seen as mistakes. Likewise, Abiru, pulling various tails, like this toupee that is on my friend Isui. And speaking of, I believe the 3 things we list here are like things that can lead to boldness, so having an irregular lifestyle, I think, is just like a sleep schedule. Yeah, that's the reason why you're balding in your fucking teens. I do like the part here where Maria kind of proclaims that, you know, she hasn't had any mistakes in life because coming to Japan was her only, like, way to go. You can't make a mistake if you're kind of forced to go in a certain direction. That's kind of astute. I liked that. So for this next part, I believe there's something going on with the Japanese. You say, like, sekai, or something akin to that, in the middle of the sentence somewhere. Apparently that means correct. Yes, as we can see here, seikai is correct. So he says that somewhere in there, and then there that kind of goes into Fuko rebuting him, saying, actually, you said correct. So if you're correct in saying incorrect, then even the incorrect is correct. So take that, I guess. What we say here is it's a figure of speech that she's taking the wrong way, but again, take the philosophical meaning of it, right? Like, this is it's very zen. Like, what's the word? Itoshiki seems like he's cursed with knowledge, and I think Kumeta thinks that he is as well, and is almost envious of somebody that is so empty-headed to think that this figure of speech actually means this other thing, and that means that nothing's wrong. Because ultimately, who's having a better life? Again, it's like what I was talking about with Chie, right? She may be off on her own, just kind of relaxing and not worrying about anything, but she's, again, having a better quality of life relative to you, so who's winning? Again, continuing to really like Fura from that perspective, I think that large scale, we're trying to say something like that with the show. This kind of wide-eyed, dumb optimism is probably a better take than, you know, constant depressive, despairing cynicism. So how do we get comedy out of this development? Essentially, she goes to say that if something comes out into the light, right, so it's not hidden anymore, then it can't be a mistake, right? So this guy walks in and he's like, well, I got found out for insider trading. It's like, well, did you get caught? Yeah. Well, then it's not a mistake. Even though it very clearly is, it's a very flawed set of logic. We're doing the list thing again. Again, take it or leave it. I did like this one, mostly because I'm just kind of projecting onto it, because the team that I follow is also called the Giants. And their acquisitions are often poor. So, yeah, but I mean, they've come to light. Right? So, yeah, it can't be a mistake after all, I don't know. Also, again, buying monthly Jump instead of weekly Jump. Amateur mistake, come on now. The skit takes a dark turn when a murderer confesses to being a murderer. And then, like, because it came to light that it's not a mistake anymore? I guess he was racked with guilt. Is this what we call repenting? Well, kinda not really. I don't know. Maybe that redeemed the skit a lot. I liked the ending there. I found a lot to like with the Fura segment. Now, explain to me why this child that is his nephew walks up and calls him Otosan. I don't understand that part of it. Maybe I'll reread and find out. But as we find out later, this is, again, as I said, the nephew. And following on from the philosophy of the skit thus far, Fura sees that this mistake, this hidden child, has come to light, so it's no longer a mistake. I'm not sure that Tsunetsuki and Chiri here agree with their respective crushes on Itoshiki. If he's having kids, then he's having you-know-what with other people. And we can't be having that. A little bit of yandere from the girls. I must say the animation here is pretty cool, though. Nice face. From here, it's on to the next half of the episode. We find out that the kid's name is Majiru, which has a pun associated with it that we go into, which is way too Japanese for me. And yeah, there's a reason why he looks so similar to Itoshiki. It's because Itoshiki's brother looks so similar to him as well. So if he has a kid, then it all runs in the family. Strong genes, I guess you could say. Now, did we explain the part where he's wearing, like, his clothes as well? I don't... Why'd you come up, like, in his cosplay? It doesn't make any sense. It still begs the question of why he's here. The justification we get is that Abiru just kind of brought him along because being, like leaving kids alone is tantamount to abuse. You spin the abuse out onto her joke about, masochism. Yeah, that's kind of fun. But yeah, I don't see why he's here still. And then, like, these skits just spiral. You can argue in the writing department it's a little bit quick, Like, again, ultimately, we want to get to a concept, and then we want to spin off on that concept and write down as many examples as possible about said concept, with as many kind of news references, celebrity references, anime references, manga references in there as possible. That is kind of the show's modus operandi. So we kind of go very quickly from, okay, Majiru is here, to, oh, you're not really Majiru, can you prove that you're him, to how am I sure that anybody's real? How can you prove that you're the real you? Which is, I guess, a pretty cool philosophical concept, but I don't think we take it to the nth degree. Oh, base, she attends Shaft High School. That's pretty cool. But yeah, first cab off the rank here is Chiri, who needs to prove that she is who she says she is. And again, that's why we had the student ID there. Here's proof of identification. Nope, not good enough. It could have been forged or stolen. You must tell me something that you've never told anybody that also simultaneously proves that it's you. Bro, this Sui kid needs to be stopped. I fucking hate him. He's talking about some birthmark under a boob. Come on, dog. This is like the first line he's had since he's become visible as well. And on the Chiri side of things, the thing we end up with is that she's actually got curly hair that she straightens once a month. Like, very, very, like, super straightens. I think that's kind of fun. Like, okay, so much of her personality is built around her hair as well. The perfect kind of split down the middle, its straightness, all this kind of prim and proper stuff. It's actually something that she needs to work on quite a bit. It's something that she voluntarily has to do to herself quite often. That could be something to spin off into content. But for right now, it's just a bit of trivia. We do bring it back for a joke, I remember, though, as well. Also, this thing seems to be a pairing. Like, these two are just hanging out, like, pretty consistently. I don't know. Seems chill to me. Next up, Nami joke. Nami joke is that Nami is normal, so she finds it very, very difficult to prove that she's real. She's like a bot in real life, or an NPC, whatever you wanted to say, right? Yeah, like, again, you think about the most normal person you know, how could they even prove to you that they were them? Because their takes are so moderate. Like, there's no individualism there, I guess. But eventually we come around. Her normal responses to everything actually builds up a stack of evidence to say that actually, yeah, this is the normal person that we know. Because, again, she is normal. That's her character trait. Now, I do like this for a joke, because here we have Maria, or Sekutsu Taro. And remember her origin, she actually has taken the name of a student who kind of sold it to her, because he sold all of his possessions or something. I forget the joke. But she actually is an imposter. She actually isn't who she says she is. This could lead to comedy. The joke here we go for is that she says all of the information about Sekitsu Taro, like, as well as possible. Like, she just nails it. But again, sometimes the people that are the fakes know information better than the real people, right? Because they've studied up on it. It's almost unnatural that they would know this much about somebody. Once again, we're at the portion of the skit where we go around and check on everybody. Meru this time. Truth is, I've never made a phone call. Very sad. Abiru, truth is, I have 3 older brothers who go to anime schools. Look at this, we have some Gundam bullshit. We have, like, I don't know, this guy's like a look-back type guy or something. And then we have Dress Up My Darling over here. I jest, of course, but what do they mean by anime school? We start to bring the skit towards a conclusion with kind of spinning it back on Itoshiki again. Saying, how are you real? How can you prove that you're the real teacher? You could be some kind of pervert that's just walked in here. Now, there's one here I'm zeroing in on, right? That would be Michael's sleeping partners. Hardships endured by those who are plagued by demands for the truth. I can think of one Michael who may have had suspicious sleeping partners that would have been quite relevant around this time. I believe actually he would be dead. I believe he died in 2006 off the top of my head, or maybe it was 2008. Yeah, maybe he isn't dead. Anyway, it's Michael Jackson. He sleeps with children. I know, shocker. Allegedly. I should say, allegedly. Once again, I believe we have Fura in here to save the day, or at least elevate the skit, right? So, Itoshiki quickly goes to, shit, I can't prove myself. Okay, well, it's something that I would do. Kill myself. Let's go for the noose once again, right? And right back to that same kind of idea at the very start of the show, we have Furuta denying it, right? Like, no, you're not trying to kill yourself. You can't be. Like, almost, like, indignant that he would even try to do such a thing. Like, it's not even completely, totally possible that you would attempt such a thing, right? We change it a little bit here. Itoshiki Sensei is a nice teacher. He would never say such a thing. He would never do such a thing such as this. Therefore, you must be an imposter if you're even considering this. And yeah, that kind of spins off into everything. Sensei would never wear a hakama to make himself stand out. And then, yeah, we're taking advantage of it with the cat ears part. Like, oh yeah, this is actually what our Zetsubou Sensei looks like. He looks pretty suave, actually well dressed. Got the cat ears going on, luscious locks, much to the envy of Isui. You'd have to imagine the phone here is a Meru joint as well. Very, very cool. Yeah, so this is the teacher we know, you must be the fake. That's a fun mix on the concept, I think. This leads to even more of a crisis of consciousness from Itoshiki Sensei, starting to see himself in different various manga and anime. Here we have Ashita no Joe, very famous old manga and show, I believe, about boxing, hence the boxing. Now this seems like something as well, but I'm forgetting what the liner notes said. Seems vaguely romantic. This would be a Dragon Quest, I believe. No, I don't think you are actually part of the Dragon Quest franchise. And then that seems like some like Gundam or like some sci-fi shit. That almost looks like an X-Wing or something. It's pretty sick. And then, I don't know, something about hair fetish and the kid, and then he touches the hair and then it goes haywire. Please don't touch my hair. I like it as a full circle on the curly hair joke. That's pretty cool. And yeah, I don't know, Itoshiki Sensei goes to Silent Hill or something. It's all very odd. Actually, from the liner notes, I believe that this is like some Shadow over Innsmouth type shit. Hence, we see Maida's head poking out of the sea there. Let's get a better shot of it. That could be seen as somewhat like a Cthulhu type thing or something. That's pretty rad. Oh yeah, fun section there at the very end as well. Maria's drinking children's beer, which apparently is something in Japan that you can do, or at least could do back in the day. Now, I have questions. Obviously, it's non-alcoholic. That's the whole point. You can buy non-alcoholic beer in Australia. The thing is that it still requires an ID, weirdly enough, because it becomes an issue of how do you police it for under 18s, right? Obviously, the cops aren't going to walk up and be like, oh, let me sample your drink. Like, that's just not gonna fly. The argument would be that you're drinking it in a bottle that has the label, but what if you pour it into a glass? They do alcohol-free spirits as well. What's stopping somebody from, you know, making it seem like the real thing, but it's not the real thing, but blah, blah, blah. Do you see what I mean? Like, it's a weird gray area, and I think, again, maybe they didn't consider that way back in 2007, because again, we can't have the children drinking the beer. That's no good. Now, I believe, again, this was Columbia Pictures from memory, this whole logo sequence. The only difference this time is we have Itoshiki Sensei wailing in the background, just kind of doing the theme, doing the kind of, you know, big orchestral piece, just with his voice, almost as grating and as annoying as possible. It's completely something that I would do as well. It reminds me of myself in a very cool way. Just be as annoying as fucking possible. Very funny. Kind of elevated this bit, which Hardy Ha is also a repetition. At least if we twisted it a little bit, we changed it. The reason why I bring it up is because we have this bit again, and we didn't really even change it that much. There's a bit of color difference there. So again, I'm still scratching my head at the joke. I do not understand. I do like the text on screen. That concludes the summary of previous events. It's like, that's not what happened last time, though. Anyway, it just shows fucking weird. Straight after that, it becomes very clear that we're attending a school festival. Very, very cool. It's a school-based slice of life show. It's only natural that we'll get here eventually. And I like the ultimate joke we go for here, which is that our indecisiveness led to something that's pretty lame occurring, instead of doing something fun for a school festival. Like starting the skit here with like Maid Cafe or, you know, Yakisoba or like any number of other really, like Haunted House, generic like school festival stuff. It's like, no, we went for something boring because we fucked around too long. Shout out to the fresh juice here though, which is also another Ichigo 100% reference. Very, very cool. I believe that the pomegranate here is in reference to Kaire's underwear, which had pomegranates on them as opposed to strawberries way back in the day. This one here, I believe, is another extremely Japanese joke. So we've written out the word for cultural festival, but these kanji, when put in this order, may sound like the word, but it's not actually the word. It is equivalent to this. It sounds like cultural festival, but it actually means nothing. None of these words in this order mean that. Sounds like it, but not quite. Very Nishio Sin vibes, who is the other person I'm very familiar with that does this kind of thing. Just plays with words constantly, because fuck it. Why not, I guess. Oh yeah, I forgot we had a new opening here. Really like the colors, I guess. Not much to say. I thought it was going to be a bit more of a concrete reference to something. Again, another slice of life high school show that may have been an explicit focus on a school festival or something. That's something that I would do. But no, this just seems like something that we did just for the fuck of it. I don't have lyrics for the song either, which could elucidate things. I believe it sounds like the cast that's singing it. But I mean, this thing's pretty lit and kind of breaks up the show in a nice way. I like shows that mess with the opening. Yeah, I mean, the pieces of animation we use for all the people are quite nice as well. Wouldn't be surprised if some of these are reused as well. But yeah, it's put together quite well. It was almost giving me Evangelion opening vibes as well, you know, where it's kind of just like set to the music and bunch of kind of flashing images. I mean, of course you guys know it. It's the most popular anime opening, pretty much. Yeah, it's a good thing to ape off of, I guess. Also in part reminding me of the openings for Haruhi Suzumiya a little bit, but again, maybe it's the cultural festival thing. We're name-checking Rashomon here as well, which I don't see how that applies. Very famous. I believe it was a Kurosawa film. Yeah, but, you know, different takes on events, I guess. We're kind of framing the start of this with kind of Nami's take on events, kind of. If we were doing a Rashomon thing, that could be interesting, but I don't see the other perspective. As I said, we're framing this as a flashback to what happened before, where we're kind of bringing up the concept of a cultural festival to Itoshiki. He really zeroes in on the word cultured, and thinks that you guys know nothing about culture, blah, 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 no way we could do anything like that. Chiri also takes that to the nth degree, quoting the Japanese constitution, which is Japanese citizens shall have the right to maintain the minimum standards of wholesome and cultured living. So if you don't let us do a cultural festival, you're directly violating the constitution, Itoshiki. That's pretty funny. Very Chiri thing to say. She's my favorite for a reason. Oh, that's fun too. I wonder if that pun got translated, because it seems like we're talking about, like, he loses his constitution when we talk about the Japanese constitution. Like, he becomes faint and almost falls over and stuff. It's like, no, not that constitution. I wonder how that's translated. That's a fun one. Begrudgingly, we have Itoshiki agreeing to hold a cultural festival, or at least have his class do a thing in it. The caveat being that we must maintain that word, minimum, that was in the constitution, right? So it means whatever we suggest, it's going to be a really small version of that. And yeah, from here we do the anime classic. We do a vote on what the class wants to do, and we vote for a play. So we're going to do a play, ladies and gentlemen. I guess this is fun. Komori's doing her own little cultural festival by herself because she's a shut-in at school. So she made this all by herself. That's nice. That's quite cute. It's cute for a cutaway. Again, she's very separate from the rest of the cast, I'm noticing, but she's having a good time. She's celebrating in her own way. Oh, is this the joke? That the script is by Harumi and the direction is by Aberu, the two biggest freaks in class. I don't think these two know the definition of the word minimum. Is that fucking Uluru in the background? What the hell? And this guy's saying something about world? Yeah, I don't know. This screams reference again. From here, Itoshiki interjects, saying that this is too cultured. It's not the minimum cultural standard. The acting's too good. The story's too good. Despite you writing it randomly with your left hand while watching TV. Again, most people being right-handed. I just scribbled some bullshit, and this is... Apparently that's too cultured for Itoshiki. Oh, this is fun. Okay, like... This is, like, very Bakemonogatari as well. Just kind of like jokes. This almost seems like a script that was on screen of, like, dialogue that was in the kind of manga that they didn't want to say, so they just threw it on screen. But Nozomu, who is Itoshiki, the scenario can't be any more cultured than Signs, very famous M. Night Shyamalan film. Again, Itoshiki. AI would be slightly too cultured. Again, another... I guess you would say both of these films aren't particularly well regarded. I know that the both of them have Nostalgia Critic reviews. Very, very cool. Point being that you're saying that the standard is too high with these movies that were middling at best is kind of funny. And I think this is shade then, because then Harumi's like, that's hard, so something like Gundam X? Is Gundam X bad, chat? I think that's the joke. All these things are middling to bad. And again, despite the play we saw playing out before, where Isui was calling our world to some mannequin. No, that's too good as well. That's not the minimum. Some more reuse of stuff, but it's good stuff, because it's Kaede with a guitar, and the animation's pretty sick. As I said during the reaction, give an anime girl a guitar, give her a band, and I'm interested. Again, the joke being through this segment that whatever Itoshiki sees, he's just going to poo-poo because it's not the minimum. Here we have Jun Kudo and his fairy tale storytelling. For the record, I think his story is quite good. You know what it reminded me of, weirdly enough? There was a section within the latest season of Monogatari which involved a character, or a nameless narrator, I guess, reading out a story such as this. Again, the placement of that story and the characters involved have huge ramifications for that show, but just kind of, pulling us aside and like almost reading a book to us is quite nice. This segment went on longer than I thought it would as well. Also gave me Nier vibes, weirdly enough, as well, which I do like. The point of the story being that, this king, he has everything but a heart, but a soul. But then he sacrifices himself and in the process grows a soul. He attains the one thing that he couldn't attain. Life is fleeting, love is endless, something akin to that. Yeah, I liked the little story, as generic as it was. The intermission skipping right to the punchline where the king uses his body to protect the child from the demon kidnapper, and in the process gains a human heart, is fun. Because again, you could just put the pieces into place as to what happened in the meantime. I hope that Jun Kudo guy comes back. He's pretty based. Next bit here, we do like one-liner stand-up comedy. And then it's a very Japanese joke that apparently is very funny and turns into a funny meme for the kids. Particularly, Maria loves it. Maybe this is worth checking the liner notes one more time. Now, I don't think we have anything here for it, which is weird. Unless I'm missing it. I could be missing it, but I can't see it. I don't know, weird one. I don't know about all that. I should mention through that whole section we have Tsunetsuki just staring at Itoshiki. I don't know why she kept going G, but she certainly did. I wonder how that was adapted. Was she just in like every fifth panel or something? I don't understand the joke here either. Osamu desires no longer human is apparently the minimum cultural standard. Is the joke here that it isn't? Because it's quite good. It's a well-regarded piece of literature. Oh, I remember. It was about the string, not the book itself. What were those characters in Lane called? The Knights? Remember the Knights? I was kind of referencing that during the reaction. I like the Knights. That was a... Shoutouts to Serial Experiments Lane, man. What a show. I don't know, man. It seems like Itoshiki has really low standards for what this minimum is. Like this one specifically here, this is the worst items you can get in like Dragon Quest. That is the actual minimum. The minimum cultural standard of fishing, rock fishing, pretty ineffective. The minimum cultural standard of foreign cultural exchange, fucking waifu wars or something. And apparently a chop to the back of the neck will stop a nosebleed or something. Well, again, that's the minimum because it's not very good, like all the other examples there. And then, as always, it turns back on Sensei. Hey, what if you made the class the minimum cultural standard? And then I think the joke is that we do really generic lesson plans. Like, stuff that people would have done a trillion times before, ending up with the most boring cultural kind of festival display. I think that's the joke. Oh yeah, this was weird too. We have Chiri here with Harumi. We know what Harumi's doing over here, something particularly heinous, of course. Dojins. But here we have Chiri making the itinerary, making the schedule for the trip that we do in the next segment. That's kind of fun. The two of these working together on their particular passion. Then we have this segment here. This was giving me Mission Impossible, but apparently it's a reference to what the liner notes describe as a Japanese version of Columbo, so like a mystery show of some kind. And much like the start of the episode, we have Itoshiki also humming the tune there. Pretty good joke. I liked this one. I liked it better when I knew what the reference was, though. I do like the voice acting a lot, though. It really does sound like Kamiya's just there in the booth making up some bullshit. I think that kind of ramshackle, unrehearsed vibe is a nice touch for the show that is otherwise bereft of stuff like that. For our last segment here today, we have the field trip, or should I say the field trip preview. So let's follow the logic on this one. Itoshiki wanted to do a preview for the field trip, right? Because things could go wrong. You know, we could get kind of taken by some criminals, or get lost, or be unwelcomed in certain places. Let's kind of scope the joint out and make sure we're going to the right part of Kyoto for this field trip, right? And again, yeah, that's right, but shouldn't the teacher go alone? Why are you bringing all the kids on the preview? It doesn't make any sense. And then when they start to sightsee, like one would do when they visit a city they've never visited before, go, no, we can't be doing that. We're only previewing, so you must just keep on moving. As it turns out, it's a scam, and a cheap scam at that. The travel company, they let people go on previews scot-free, knowing that, again, they'll make up the money on the other side when they book through them for the actual travel. But if you bring the whole class along, then it doesn't become worth it anymore. We've paid everything. This can't be legal. I'm with this guy here. There was also a quick line there that was very good for Sinetsky as well. Go back and have a look. It made me chuckle again. I don't know, again, this segment's very hard to talk about. There's just a bunch of esoteric nonsense in it. Par for the course, I guess. Chiri's here to save the day, though, with her shockingly specific itinerary. So this is the world's thickest book, which is the itinerary, and it's planned down to 2-minute chunks. This is insane. This is insanity. Especially for a preview of us just kind of walking past locations and not really doing field trip stuff. How much did you plan, man? Either way, the field trip continues, rollicking along, only getting a preview of famous Kyoto landmarks. Very, very funny. And then we make our way to the Preview Temple, which is a fake location that doesn't actually exist. One that most people haven't heard of because they normally don't go on the preview trip. Before we run into this priest guy, who's just like a freak. And then over here, I think we're getting a preview of each of the characters that are in the scene. I think that this is their names or something. And it's fun that we only get the animation to pop in a little bit later. Like, we don't get the whole scene, if you know what I mean. You can kind of see them there. Just kind of pop in. That's pretty funny. Kind of we're previewing the characters as well. Seems like Itoshiki comes here quite often because he has a relationship with this guy, which is odd. Why would you keep going back to the preview temple? And then the truth comes out. This isn't a proper preview because we're not actually going to do the real thing. Again, it's like Itoshiki being kind of cheap, right? We're not going to do the actual full trip. We're going to do this all-expensive paid one on the travel agency's budget, but we're also going to spin it off into some lesson about life. Like, hey, a lot of things in life ended a preview. Like porn. Like pornography, of course. Put this guy in the list of absolute freak, weirdo-looking middle-aged men that freak me out in this show. From here, we continue with the preview concept, or stopping at the preview. We see a stalker following a, schoolgirl home. He's just previewing love. We have this weirdo freak, neat-looking dude who looks up this figure's skirt to get a preview of the female body. Seems like everybody in this preview temple is a bunch of perverts. We kind of end on this joke. Chiri gets kind of excited because we're off to do a ceremony between the two of them. I think that she thought it was like a marriage thing, but as it turns out it's a funeral thing, because that's what I'm actually looking forward to, my own death. That's the joke, I think. I do like the idea of Itoshiki wanting to preview his own funeral because he's not going to be alive for it, and it's something that he would like to see. I think that's very on brand. And yeah, same joke here again. We're going to go purchase some property. It's like, oh my god, it could be our, sweetheart home for the two of us, right? No, actually, we're planning out plots of land to put my body, my cold, cold, lifeless body after I die. And then, I don't know, Chiri gets mad about the itinerary and them not following it, so then she beats him with a fucking gravestone, which is pretty metal, inadvertently putting him into a coma, which we aptly describe as previewing the afterlife. Very, very good footer. 10 out of 10. Probably the best joke of this session. It's the one that I quoted before it came on anyway. Either way, he comes back from his little preview of the afterlife, of course. I think he writes his name up on the board, half concussed, as Kiyoshi Hiyama, I should say. I think it's like a mix-up weird version of his name, which is Hiroshi Kamiya, right? You can kind of see it put together here a little bit. I thought it was a funny joke. It made me chuckle in the moment. The kicker here being that we're going to Okinawa for this year's field trip. That preview to Kyoto was pointless. And then, yeah, from there it's kind of all over. Yeah, I kind of made my misgivings known about that 2-episode chunk. And I guess the show overall, it's very formulaic. It just kind of goes for its bit and does it again and again and again. It's fine. It's good. It's just I was waiting for it to elevate a little bit more from now, right? We haven't really even set up a finale at all. It's just kind of more show. Show's good though. It's funny. The cultural references are again pissing me off a little bit. They're peeving me, but I'll get over it. It's funny. How many different ways can I say that? And that's half the battle, man. That's actually more than half the battle. It's mostly all the battle. As long as it maintains funny, then I'm here. I'm here for this show. Either way, next week, 2 more episodes rounding at season 1. Just another shout out to maybe potentially let me know if there's more liner notes, because I have liked reading them. And I would like to continue. Yeah, just another shout out there. Like the video, subscribe, Discord, Patreon. I'm out of here. Catch you guys later. Goodbye.